Okay, hi, this is Quisha, Abby, Tanya, and Cynthia.
Hi.
We're here
Hi.
to we're here this week to talk about some stresses that moms are experiencing while at home during this COVID-19 pandemic and quarantining. We want to discuss some things that people are going through, some things that we're personally going through. Each one of us are mothers. We're all mothers. So we're going to talk about some things that um, is affecting moms at home. So I will go first. And I did some research and I came up with a article on CNBC that spoke about some things that millennial moms are facing during this time. Millennial moms aged 24 through 39 is who they surveyed, and it's showing that like 74% of moms feel mentally worse than they felt before the pandemic, and the pandemic is just making things worse. Some of the things that they said they were stressed about were um, working moms who are stressed about childcare and the health, the mental thinking of the health and well-being of their family members. Working moms because either their childcare is closed and they're working from home with the children present, which is they're saying that it's not able to focus as much as they would love to, or they would like to put as much effort towards their work. So, and then also moms who have to send their children to childcare are also stressed because of the exposure that their kids could be having to the COVID-19 virus. You just send your kid out and you really don't know what they come in contact with. So that is stressing moms out as well. And they're also stressed because they say they feel unsupported by society due to the demands at work and at home. During this time, a lot of moms feel like they have more of a workload than they would normally have, and that society is not supporting them in, providing ways for dads to stay at home more, or for dads to help out more, or just to lend some type of helping hand to them. They're feeling very unsupported, and they feel like the demands at work should be, I guess I don't want to say diminished as a word, but should be balanced out to fit the situation that we're in now. Your demands that you had before the pandemic should not be the same as now. You shouldn't be expected to perform at the same level now that you have so much more stuff on your plate, and a lot of people are working from home with a house full of kids and a house full of people that they have to attend to. Also, it says 97% of millennial moms feel like they're burned out, and they feel like they're lacking energy and they're lacking motivation to just get up every day and do things that have to be done. So for me personally, some of the things that have been weighing more on me was that I'm at home all day with 7 kids. I have children aged 18 to 1. That's a wide range, who all need support, who all need different things, who all need my attention in some type of way or need something from me, especially my 1-year-old, my 2-year-old. And also trying to work and trying to still maintain some type of income into our home. And then also support my husband, who is still working outside of the home, and just trying to be a support system for him as well, and keeping him balanced and feeling like he has the support of his family, and keeping him lifted up so that he doesn't get stressed out as he works as well outside of the home and coming in contact with other people. Also, one thing that really has stressed me, I really haven't, thank God, been super stressed, but the lack of a schedule. I'm a person who loves a schedule. Like, I like to make to-do lists. So every day I know what to do and what I want to do and what I have to do. And just not having a time frame on certain things has just kind of thrown me off a little bit. Not, my schedule for getting up It's not the same as it used to. I used to wake up at 5 and 6 in the morning to get my kids ready for school, go for a walk before they go off to school, and get everything ready. And now it's just like I don't have to do that because my kids don't start e-learning until 9:30. So it throws my day off because my body wakes up, but I don't need to be up and I don't really have anything to do. So it's just trying to make myself do something or find something for me to do. And then the rest of the day is just like it's just kind of thrown off because the schedule that I'm used to having is not there anymore. And there's really no I like that there's no real urgency, but also again, it's like kind of throwing me off. And the number one thing that is stressing me, the thing that's stressing me for real, that's making me, is my house is literally dirty all day long. We clean our house over and over and over and over again, and it's still dirty. My floors constantly have snacks on them. They constantly have toys on them. And I feel like my family doesn't see it. Like they walk past and I'm like, crackers are on the floor. And am I the only person in the whole house that sees it? That's how I feel. And that's what's really, that is the thing that's adding stress to me, is the fact that my house is dirty all day long, and I'm constantly cleaning, I'm constantly sweeping, I'm constantly picking up toys. And I know other moms are going through that, and I know that they are feeling that stress of having a dirty house. Because when your kids go to school, at least you have that time where your house is clean and it looks nice. You come home and it's nice. Now there's no time. There's none of that. And then the last thing I want to touch on is just finding some me time in the midst of everybody, all this, quarantine family time that is, forced time, enjoyable family time, but it's forced family time. Finding just some me time to just relax for myself and to have my own thoughts and to have my own, time to just woo-saw and be Quisha, without someone asking me a question, without someone wanting something from me. I'm finding it very difficult to find that time. I literally have to lock my bedroom door and they still knock on it. So I know that other moms are probably feeling that stress as well, of trying to find me time in the middle of all this force. So those are some of the things that are stressing me, keeping me, a little wired. I'm not as stressed as some people are, but those are some things that are affecting me. So next we're going to move on to Tanya, who's going to tell us some things that she researched and also her own personal journey during this pandemic as a mother. Okay, Tanya, go ahead.
I came up with some research about 8 women. They basically are saying that balancing careers and kids could seem to be far as thriving is out, far as being just thriving out to be like reaching out far as thriving is impossible. So they're basically at this time surviving. They're just trying to survive right now. Basically, what they're saying is surviving is enough at this time. They don't need any particular goals or any type of like a plan to succeed, because right now it's impossible for to have any type of plan. So they're just trying to basically take one day at a time. And many mothers are experiencing a profound shift in their lives as far as their well-being beyond the mere loss of their routines. So basically they don't have any routines right now. It's impossible to follow any routines right now. So they're just trying to make it, survive, and take care of their kids. They're basically juggling their jobs, childcare, and they have a lot of intensity that they never had experienced before. Mom's basically saying that they are homeschooling while working. They're preparing lunches while working. Moms are also policing and screening their time while working. As far as the kids being on the Chromebooks and laptops, they have to make sure that while the kids are on it, that they're making sure that they're basically following the curriculum they're supposed to have. So they're policing the Chromebooks, making sure they're not doing anything that's inappropriate that can put anyone in danger. The moms are also basically having signs of guilt and stress because of not feeling like they're doing the best job at this time. So to them, it's very extreme for them. It's making them have guilt, it's making them have shame, and making them have stress because the job they normally do is basically they feel is more perfected. But right now, the job they're doing right now is not particularly a well job, as far as meeting all the needs of their children and their spouses, and also meeting their needs are very hard right now because they have a lot of people that's pulling on them. So they're not being able to like have time for themselves is basically causing them to be like kind of like burnt out and depleted and feeling defeated because of not basically being able to meet everyone's needs appropriately. It says that tasks that they had been outsourced to school, they usually have a lot of outsourced help far as the schools, the grandparents, nannies, and sitters now falling squarely on just basically the help that they had basically is what now is just falling on them. They don't have any outside help, any outside support. So basically everyone in their family is like in their home is basically relying on them for everything. They're asking them for everything. They're looking to the mom for everything. Even the dads are in the house, but the moms are the one who basically does the planning, does the cooking, does the laundry, basically does the meal prepping and gives everyone in the house supporting their husbands. They're giving everybody what they need. They're the ones that's planning everything every day. So they're very stressed, very irritable and frustrated because they don't have any type of outlet or any type of support. For me, through this whole pandemic, I've been kind of like stressed out because I'm trying to meet a 5-year-old needs, my daughter needs, I mean, 8-year-old, she's 8 years old, I'm trying to meet her needs as far as remote learning. My daughter, she's 16, I'm trying to meet her needs. My husband is here, I'm trying to meet his needs. And so just the remote learning by itself and me also trying to do my school work and being interrupted second by second. Plus, as I'm stopping every minute, making breakfast, making lunch, trying to provide dinner while studying, and it's kind of hard to like escape because when you're in the home, it's not like you have the privacy that you need to basically focus on what you need to do at hand. So you're like multitasking and being pulled in every which way, which can be very stressful at times. And I find myself not having me time. So that makes it very stressful for me. And I'm kind of like want everything done a particular way. So it's like that is very irritable for me because I expect things to go a certain type of way. I have things planned out a certain type of way. By me being at home with all of my family now is like it's not happening. Clothes are everywhere. Um, Clothes are everywhere. The house is not as clean as it usually would be. I find myself like bickering and arguing over like why crumbs are on the floor, why crumbs on the table. So I'm constantly wiping and sweeping and picking up behind people, and at the same time kind of like saying like, can I get some help around here? So other than that, I think it's been pretty good. I'm trying to like conform, but it's kind of hard to when you want things a certain type of way. So that's basically about it. Other than that, I think I'm I'm happy, I'm appreciative that we are here, we are healthy, we're alive. Um, so I'm trying to make the best out of every situation. That's all.
Hi, my name is Cynthia. I want to say I think moms are stressed when it comes to maintaining a job or being without a job. Because some mothers have had a job and now they're without a job, trying to figure out how are they going to how are they going to take care of their family. Some moms are dealing with the fact that they have applied for some type of financial assistance, and like unemployment, and they can't even get that because, you know, trying to get on their database, their website is like crazy. So some people are getting it, and a lot of people are still waiting to even apply to get it. So that can be stressful. I'm fortunate enough to have a job, but I work a very stressful job. And I think it's because of the way that it's been managed. I think if it was managed a little better, that could lower my stress. I have the stress based on what they expect out of me, based on a 6.45-hour time. When you're supposed to get an hour lunch and a 15-minute break, I'm actually working through my lunch and my break to meet my quota. So that is very stressful for me. And I'm sure other parents are maybe dealing with the same thing, doing a job. Instead of doing the job of one person, they probably doing a job with 2 or 3 persons. And another thing is could be stressful for moms is not being able to connect face to face with a family member, especially when you have come from a big family and you used to seeing your family on a regular basis. So now you have to push your family back, especially if you have those family members that don't believe in wearing a mask. You can't let those family members come over because you have to keep your family safe. So that's a big stressor when you miss your loved ones. Only thing you could do is mainly just talk to them on the phone, which that's like strange when you not used to doing that. Also, moms that do not get to do the things that they used to do, like moms used to connect with the family member going out to dinner or going bowling or go to the movies, things like that. Those things are non-existent right now. We cannot do those things because of the pandemic. So I'm sure that is a big stressor. So you have to find other things to relieve that stress. And also having a chronic illness could be a stressor. Like I have a chronic illness, and I'm just praying and hoping to God that I don't get, you know, it used to be a time where I would have to be hospitalized a lot. So I'm praying that since this pandemic and there's a lot of infection and stuff going on in the hospital, I do not have to be hospitalized any kind of way. And I hope that other moms don't have to deal with that type of stress of being hospitalized, because they have that stress, whereas one of their loved ones get hospitalized, you can't even be there with your loved one. You have to just drop them off and go back home. That could be a huge stressor on a mom, especially if it's a child that you dropping off at the hospital. And not being able to visit my 83-year-old auntie that's in a nursing home. That's a stressor because she's confused. She's suffering from dementia. She don't understand the full situation of what's going on. I mean, it comes to her mind, comes and goes. She understands a little bit of it, but not 100%. And another stress is, I'm sure, when moms are dealing with kids that's defiant. Because I'm dealing with a child that's defiant and he's stubborn. That's a big stressor because he's a teenager going through puberty. So, I mean, he has his own mind. He has that mentality, me. It's all about what he wants. He can see a piece of paper on the floor and he'll walk right back, won't even pick it up, put it in the garbage. I said, why did you walk past that paper and then put it in the garbage? He'll say, I didn't put it there. I mean, like, really? But you live here too. I just don't understand that mindset that the teenagers have today. Not getting enough sleep could be a big stressor for moms. I know I'm not getting a lot of sleep, and I know a lot of moms are probably not getting a lot of sleep. So that's a major factor. Also, moms who do not have support from family members and who lack in finances are totally stressed out. So, but I hope things get better for you moms out there. Thank you for listening.
Abby, you're
Muted the whole time.
You was on mute.
Sorry. I was trying to say one of the bigger stressors for me is like, so my mom is like a big, huge help for me because I am a single mom and I am living with both my parents and both my sisters. And I have my 3-year-old here, so it's for the past 2 months now, she's had to work from home. And when she works from home now, because they had to do a lot of catch up, she can't help me the way she used to or as often as she did when she was working. So a lot of me and my stress is like trying to do my own work. I actually just, the students that I worked with, they're all on summer break now, but that was only 2 days ago. So before that, I was doing, I was working from home. I was trying to entertain my 3-year-old because his daycare's closed. And then also doing like all these classes over the summer. So that was a huge stressor for me. And then just last week, I got a text back from my boss at my second job, because I work 2 jobs. So at my second job, my boss texted me and asked if I'd be willing to come back in when we open up on the 29th of this month. So he's trying to go over the different procedures and just how things are going to work when I do go back to work. But my son's daycare is not open. My parents are both working from home. So now I have nobody to watch my 3-year-old, but I need to go back to work because I need the money. So not having like a reliable or good childcare is a huge stressor. And his daycare, they said that they're going to start letting kids come back by the time I do go back to work, but I'm absolutely terrified to let him go. Honestly, I don't want to send him back until I know like it's more than just okay to send him back, just because I don't know what he could be exposed to. I don't know what their procedures are when it comes to having these kids there. And then I don't know like if he's more prone or just more at risk because he may have a heart condition that I'm not going to know about till he's like 12 or 13. So that just not knowing is another huge stressor for me too. And because of all the work that I've had to do from home, I don't have enough time to give him attention and the attention that he deserves and that he needs from me. So sometimes I'll have to stop and do work till like 2 in the morning just so I can have my assignments turned in on time. And yeah, just no sleep. He's totally thrown off with his schedule too. So on top of me having to stay up late at night to get work done, his schedule is thrown off because we're not consistent with how we were before. Like I would have him go to bed at a certain hour. Since he's been home from daycare, he hasn't been able to go to bed on time. Sometimes he won't fall asleep till like 10:30 at night. So then I'm not getting, if I do get the chance to go to bed before 2 o'clock in the morning, there's no way that's going to happen unless, he's in bed. If I want to go to bed before 11. So not enough sleep. And then, I have to get up early still because he still gets up early. He has way more energy than I do. And I've just, especially lately, have been feeling super burnt out now that I'm worried about the whole childcare thing. So those are my stressors.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have a little time left, so I just wanted to go. I posted this topic on Facebook, to see some responses from some mothers that I know, and I'm just going to read off a couple of the responses to some things that they're being stressed. They're kind of similar to what we're saying. One of the moms said balancing work, her kids' schoolwork, while keeping up with normal chores. Those are her main stressors right now. Another mom said the new way that kids are schooling, so the new e-learning that they're doing. Her regular work, she's a daycare worker. She works at, she has her own daycare, her own at-home daycare. So work and kids and everyday household work. So same thing, chores, kids schooling and work. And the last comment that we have is, this is a mom of a newborn. She says, balancing a newborn, a 7-year-old, and e-learning. All the schoolwork that comes with e-learning, completing household chores, dealing with my daughter's emotions from not being able to see family and friends. So that's another stressor. I think Cynthia also mentioned it, having to deal with your children's, their own emotions, because they're people, just like we're people, and they have emotions and they have feelings, and just you having to deal with those and trying to help them cope with them, giving them coping mechanisms. That's a stressor, because now you're like everybody's counselor. You're trying to help them deal with these emotions. You're trying to let them, let off some steam, as to say. Like, I let my kids go in our backyard and jump on the trampoline for a while, or whatever. And it's like you have to watch them very carefully. So that's the stressor. And my kids, I have, like I said, 7. So all these different emotions going on in this house. They're arguing and fighting back and forth, and then you're trying to be the referee, and then them just wanting to see, like, we're a very close-knit family, wanting to see their family, wanting to see their friends, and missing out on the social aspect of school. Like, most people now are thinking about learning, e-learning. Kids need to learn, kids need to be learning, but they're also missing out on the social aspect, where they get to go and build friendships and learn how to communicate with people and learn how to interact with people outside of their home. And that is a big thing for them. My son just was really sad because he said, so I'm not going to see my friends for the rest of the year.
Right.
And I was like, no, you're not going to be able to see them. I don't really know when you're going to go back. Even when school starts back in August, I don't know when you're going to go back, if that's going to even be an option for you to go back. So that social aspect of life for kids is also a stressor as well.
Yeah, and I also had someone to post on my Facebook page about moms being stressed. Were you talking? Oh, okay. So one young lady saying being able to homeschool our kids when the materials being taught is different from when I grew up. It's almost like I have to learn and do it again, even though I know how. I have been volunteering my time. It gets me out of the house for some me time, or I like to exercise, which helps with stress relief. And then another mom said, well, she's not a mom. Well, she's a mom, but her kids are older. She said, I don't have any small kids, but I have 4 grandchildren. Whom I fuss about all the time. So I had to purchase a laptop for the one that was supplied wouldn't work properly. My daughter lost her job at McCormick Place, and on a personal level, my son, my only son, is a COVID-19 survivor. I am grateful for God's blessings. Even though this storm, we are still here, and have not missed anything. Okay, so basically she's saying that her family has been her stress relief. So that was the only thing I had from that.
I interviewed my foster daughter, and she basically she's a patient care technician at Stateville Penitentiary, and she said that she's very stressed out because her working around the inmates. You know, a lot of inmates are there and they are sick with the coronavirus, and she's scared that she may bring that back home to her 6-year-old. But that's like a big stress relief stressor for her. And she said what also is stressing her out is that she works third shift, and now since my grandbaby is not in school, she basically, before she goes to her the third shift, she has to take her daughter over her mom's house or her dad's house to keep for so they can babysit her. And when she gets off work in the next morning, she has to go home, shower, wash her hair, disinfect everything, pick her daughter up and bring her daughter back home, do the remote learning with her, and then basically takes a nap, gets up and starts all over again. Each and every day she does it.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. So we want to just continue to uplift our moms at this time and uplift yourself as a mom.
So
Give yourself a break. I'm sorry, Tanya, were you saying something?
No.
Okay. Give yourself a break. You're doing the best you can. In this time, we're all just learning how to relive our lives. So don't be so hard on yourselves, moms. And the best thing I told myself in this time is like, I'm not Superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever I can do, I just can't do. And my family will just have to understand. Like, I just can't do it.
Exactly.
So give yourself that grace. We are keeping all moms in mind. We're keeping them lifted up in prayer. If you are a praying person, and we're keeping you in our thoughts. And we'll be back next week. Next week, we'll be talking about, well, not next week, later this week, we'll be back and we'll be talking about some tips that we can give moms to relieve stress during this time. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.